they would have a song like a Christmas song or something like that. They'd have the words at the bottom, and they'd have a little bouncing ball that showed you which word the song was up to. Everybody remember that? Okay.
Yeah.
Now watch what I'm about. Okay, watch this.
Let's try a shorter dictation this time. Point. Right now I'm using voice recognition. Let's see how well this program can type what I'm saying.
So this program is kind of cool because it actually highlights the words as it reads them. And if there was more here than just a few words, if there were 2 or 3 screens worth, it actually scrolls the screen as it reads them. So you can just sit back and you don't even have to scroll. You can just watch it. You can also pause it, you can stop it, you can play it again, you can select a section and have it read just that section. Oh, I thought you could do that. It looks like it doesn't do that. Okay. This program is called Read Please 2003, and it's a free one. It doesn't even have any ads. So if you're interested in text-to-speech, if you're using Windows 8, I recommend the one you just saw called Trans Dictation. If you're using Windows 7 or below, this program called Read Please 2003 I find to be kind of a nice one. Here's another one I'll show you. This one is called Speakonia. Also a free one. This one doesn't have the ability to scroll and to read with you, but you can change the voices and the pitch, the volume, the font, the color. And with this program, you can actually open existing files and have it read them. So if you have a text file, you can actually have Speakonia open that text file and read it to you. And also, it has the ability to save the files that you record, which is kind of nice. So these are some of the different features that you can find in programs that can do text-to-speech. So voice recognition is when you talk to the computer and it types. Text-to-speech is when it takes typed text and reads it to you. And I just showed you several different programs in different operating systems so you get a gist for it. Any questions so far?
No.
Oh, must be doing a good job. No questions. Okay, last thing I want to show you, and Bob, this is one that I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but this one you already have. What I'm going to show now is how to use text-to-speech in Outlook. Now, most of you are using Workspace, which is our main email program, but we also offer another email service called Exchange Server, which is what Bob is using. If you use Exchange Server, you get Outlook free included with it. So Bob, or for anyone else who wants to use Outlook, watch this. You can take any email or note or task or anything you want, and you can select it and have it read to you.
Enjoy your web lesson. JS Labor. CreativeConsulting.com.
And the voice on this text-to-speech is probably the best I've heard. I mean, it still sounds a little bit like a computer, but not as bad as the others that you saw before. And this is built right into the program, so any email that you receive, this can read it. For those of you who use Androids, there's a program called Touchdown that has a feature where it can not only read emails to you, but when an email comes in, it can read you the subject and the date and time and the sender. So if your tablet is sitting on the other side of the room and someone sends you an email, you don't even have to go near it. You can just listen, and it will say, email from so-and-so, date such-and-such, time such-and-such, and then subject, and it'll read it to you. So unlike the old days where you had a sound effect to tell you that you have mail, but you have no idea if it's good mail, bad mail, important mail, with Touchdown for Android, it will actually read you the header of the email. I find that to be very cool because it saves me a lot of wear and tear on my eyes. And the last thing I wanted to tell people about when it comes to text-to-speech and how to read without reading is Audible. I'm sure a lot of you know about this, but in the old days we used to have what we called books on tape, where authors who write books could record them by voice and you could buy them on cassette. Well, now you can get books digitally. There's a website called audible.com, and also Amazon and Google and a lot of other services do it. So you can have books read to you. Now, this is not text-to-speech. This is actually read by professional narrators or by the author of the book. But for people who like to read books, now you don't have to read with your eyes. And that means you can read books while you're driving the car. don't try to read a paper book while you're driving a car, but you can listen to an Audible book while you're driving. Or in my case, I listen to books while I cycle on my bike. There's no way I could read a paper book while I'm cycling.
Let's hope
But
not.
I hope not, but I can listen to an Audible book. So I find they're especially nice when you're on a long trip, if you're on a long car ride, or especially if you're by yourself.
Road trip.
Oh, it's great for that. It's better than listening to music. It keeps your mind stimulated, especially if it's a good book. And a lot of the Audible books are read by the authors. So if it's a book by George Carlin and it's read by George Carlin, that makes it that much more fun, than just read by anybody. So it looks like we're just about finished with our 20 minutes. I always like to leave a few seconds at the end in case anyone has any questions. Any questions? I'd like to know, have any of you tried these services? Have you tried voice recognition and what kind of, or handwriting, what kind of experiences have you had?
I haven't tried it.
Uh-huh.
I tried it on the tablet, and I never could find one that I really liked for the tablet.
Well, when you say tablet, which tablet are you talking about? A Windows tablet or an Android tablet?
Yeah, no, Android, the Toshiba.
Yeah, I have not found any good handwriting recognition for Android. But as you saw, for Windows, the one that comes with it is the best one I've ever found. So for handwriting recognition, Windows 8 wins, or Windows 7 wins hands down. For voice recognition, I find Windows 8 works well if you use the program I showed you, but Android seems to work really, really efficiently. I don't know what Google did, but they did a fantastic job. But the thing about the Android voice recognition, like I said, it pauses after each sentence. So each sentence that you speak, you have to tap record again in order to do the next sentence. With the program I showed you, you can speak for almost a minute, and it'll just take down everything that you say. And it'll do it as you say it. You don't even, well, you saw, once you tap it, it transcribes it all. So it kind of depends on how you want to use the voice recognition. Do you want to transcribe sentences and paragraphs? Or if you just want to say, call Bob, then a pausable one is perfectly fine for that. It might even be preferable. So you can see they have different features. One of the people who was supposed to take our lesson tonight was curious about this because she is doing interviews, radio show interviews, and she asked me, do I know of a voice recognition program where it can record her interview and transcribe the whole interview? Now you can see that's a different requirement because you don't want 1 minute limit and you don't want to have to tap after each sentence. She needs a voice recognition program that can just run continuously and keep on transcribing. Now, there are programs that do that, but I've never seen one that does that you don't have to train first. And she's going to be interviewing people. She can't ask them, excuse me, before I do the interview, would you mind reading these paragraphs to the microphone, please? That won't work. So we didn't find anything yet that would satisfy her conditions because what she wants to do is very specific. But the ones that I'm showing you are very good for taking down sentences or even paragraphs. They're great for when you want to write emails, especially on a tablet or a phone where you don't have a keyboard and you have to use the on-screen keyboard. Not only does voice recognition save you a lot of time, but it doesn't take up half the screen like a keyboard does. So you can see the entire screen on your tablet or phone and not have to lose half of it to a virtual keyboard. So you get that benefit as well. And on Androids, the voice recognition is built in. It comes with the tablet. In Windows, voice recognition is built in too, but like I said, it's not built into the keyboard, so it's a little bit harder to use. I don't know if I have a shortcut for it. If I do, I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, I don't think I have one for it.
I can't find her email address. When you get off.
Yeah, I don't see it right away. The Windows 8 voice recognition that I was mentioning before comes with Windows, but it also allows you to use voice commands. You can actually tell the computer what to do by voice. And so for that reason, for dictation, it doesn't work quite as well. But you can say things like switch to desktop, scroll down, open Word. You can say things like that, and and Windows will respond to it and do what you say. And that can be very cool also. That's a different kind of voice recognition. That's not dictation, but that's command recognition. So especially if you don't want to use your hands with a computer, that's another way to go. You can you can be on a web page and it'll highlight all the links with a number, and you can say 5, and it'll click on the link where 5 is. So you can actually click on links on web pages without even using the mouse or your finger or anything, just your voice. So if you ever break a wrist, or if you just don't feel like using your keyboard or your mouse, if you have Windows 7 or 8, you can use the voice recognizer that comes with it, and you can give commands to your computer. Okay, we went a few minutes over. I hope everyone enjoyed the web lesson, how to type without typing and how to read without reading. If you have any other questions, you can ask now, or you can follow up by sending email to support@totalspeed.net or support@creativeconsulting.com. And of course, everyone knows you can always visit our websites, totalspeed.net, creativeconsulting.com, and we have contact forms there and a lot of great information about our services. Any last-minute questions before we end?
No,
Thank you, Jay.
thanks a bunch. Thank you.
Okay. One last thing. I may
Thank
be
you.
introducing, you're welcome, I may be introducing additional web lessons during the day. So far I've been doing them on Thursday nights, but a few of my customers have asked for daytime web lessons. So look for those. If I do that, I'll be sending out invitations, and you'll get those in your email. Okay. Thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the web lesson. Take
Have a
more of
great
them.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks. Bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.